Hello everyone, welcome to Humane Entertainment. I'm Humane, and I intend to entertain you. So, how's everyone doing today? Congratulations Kadaya C. Mossflower for being first, and congratulations Starlight for being second. Survival was the arrival for upon them. They have forbidden me return, only for when my love grew, I upon them only support that to which was humane. Very much appreciated, Kadayas. So, yeah. Welcome to the second entry of Ninja Gaiden for Beginners 2. Ninja Gaiden has this intimidating reputation that it's a very difficult franchise. The thing is though, it's mostly the case of a lack of knowledge from the player, not a pure issue of a player's level of skill. With Ninja Gaiden for Beginners, every Monday, I intend to play through the Modern Ninja Gaiden games on the easiest difficulty, Hero Mode, and show step by step what you need to learn in order to properly understand how to play Ninja Gaiden. In today's case is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I hope to break down that aura of dread that people have in starting these games. With all that being said, let's move over to the game. Yeah. So, because this is a guide, first and foremost, please ask questions about the gameplay mechanics if something is not clear. I want to answer anything that I didn't make clear enough, because there is a lot of things that are just naturally ingrained into me after decades of playing these games. Thus, I may have blind spots on stuff that isn't as intuitive to new players. So, I hope everyone understands that. So, something that I don't think I actually pointed out in part 1, actually, is that my control scheme, that wasn't the case for Ninja Gaiden Sigma as well, but for this game, I also don't use the default controls. The default controls would be Type A here. So the main difference is kind of in the triggers and the bumpers, really. Like, notice that I kind of switch around what the left bumper is and what the right bumper is with what the triggers are instead. That's because I am used to the original Xbox games that did not have bumpers, and thus instead the blocking and whatnot were on the triggers instead of the bumpers. And so yeah, just want to point out there that that's the reason for the difference. That's just a preference thing. Most of the other stuff, like the face buttons and all that, should just be the same. But yeah, anytime when I do say press the block button or something, just refer to your own controls on that. Anyway, last time we finished chapter 2, well, chapter 1 and chapter 2. So, yeah, time to go to chapter 3 then, which this is the clear save of chapter 3. So, let's go. Or the clear save of chapter 2, and thus it leads to chapter 3. Alright. Chapter 3, Thunderclap of Catastrophe. Catastrophe? Catastrophe. I was wondering how I was supposed to pronounce that. Thunderclap of Catastrophe. The graceful Alexei, one of the 4 greater fiends, appears in the skies over New York, raining lightning upon the streets of the proud city. Ria Hayabusa arrives in Manhattan in search of Elizabeth, who escaped from Hayabusa village with the demon statue. The fiends have already begun transforming New York into a fiend realm. Ryu's battle begins as the thunder and laughter of the greater fiend echo throughout the city. Okay, so just want to point out here, 4 greater fiends. I thought there were only 3 greater fiends in existence as established in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Well, yes, those are the 3 greater fiends of Vigor. These are the 4 greater fiends of Vazda. So I guess when Rachel said there were only 3 of them, I guess she just meant there were only 3 of Vigor in particular. But yeah, so Alexei would be one of the 4 greater fiends of Vazda. We will read more about that as we go along.
A glittering island, an exquisite city of stardust.
Okay, thanks for gifting the subscriptions, Lamprobaka. And a hype trade too, yes. Awesome. I guess coinciding with Alexei summoning the fiends, I guess. You're welcome. Yes, thank you.
Excellent. I know you've never lied to me.
Yeah, so Alexei seems to be happy about this, I guess. Yes, again, thank you very much, Lamprobaka. Summoning the fiends and summoning the subs, indeed. I do like that we just got the bow on chapter 2, and then they just immediately showed the bow in a cutscene in the start of chapter 3. So yeah, New York, raining and lightning, and someone who would normally voice Spider-Man, Josh Keaton. Did I accidentally put in Amazing Spider-Man 2? Anyway. So, unfortunately, we do have to kill some dogs here. But, okay, so, I think we already established several things in chapter 1 and 2, the previous, the Amazing Ninja Man, indeed. So yeah, we already established several things, but just to give a reminder, yeah, almost every weapon has an Izuna drop kind of thing. So there usually is a basic setup of it, which is XY in order to do an uppercut, and then afterwards several X attacks before you then do a Y attack. Well, in the case of these dogs, you don't actually do the Izuna drop, because I guess there's no proper animation for Ryu grabbing the dog in the air, I guess. Yes, those X attacks, they only actually happen if you hit an enemy with it while they are in the air. Also, several weapons have different amount of X attacks needed in order to actually do the Izuna drop. For example, the Falcon Talons, those are essentially the same amount of X attacks in the air. Yeah, Izuna drop there. Whenever I point to a move, I'll try to actually put it at the top there. But yeah, for example, for the Falcon Talons, Izuna drop is the same amount of X's in the air as the Dragon Sword, which is 3 X's. And here's the... Wait. There. There's the Izuna drop for the Dragon Sword, also 3 X's. With the Lunar Staff, they changed that up a little bit, and that's just 2 X's in the air. Well, okay, so do you have to remember everything? Well, actually, personally, I don't really remember the amount of slashes in particular. Instead, I just try to remember how the animation looks. So I happen to know that when Ryu does the 3 slashes in the air with the Dragon Sword, like, there's first a horizontal slash, then another horizontal slash, and then a vertical slash. The moment I see the vertical slash, that's when I press Y. So the thing is, you don't actually have to count the amount of X's you push in the controls, as long as you just press Y right when the last slash is done. You can actually even mash to the point of pressing X 5 times. As long as you press Y during the final slash, there you go. That performs the Izuna drop. So yeah, it's actually very... it's not that strict, really, if you actually try it. If you want some additional... okay, again, if you are lost and you don't know where to go, you can always press the reset camera trigger, and the camera will just look at the direction that you're supposed to go. That said, if you are in need for more money for some reason, you can just walk this way and some bats will arrive here. That said, I don't think you really need to. Apparently there's a thing with a hype chest now. I'm curious on what that is. This is the first time I... Button mash emote. Interesting. Okay, so I guess we got this because of the hype train. Interesting. Well, speaking of button mashing, I guess. Alright, cool. Guess we got this. Yeah. I think the only time I've had a hype train so far was in yeah, was in Shadow Dancer, I believe. But then the animation didn't really play, and I did not know it would actually give us an emote. So yeah, thank you for the gift subs that handed us this mash A button emote. That's cool. All right. Okay, so we want to go that way. Unfortunately, there's a giant hole here. Granted, I think canonically Ryu should be able to just jump over this or whatever, but let's just go for the sake of the story that we can't get past that. Okay. So the thing with the Ninpo, like we have 3 key slots right now, but the thing is, this game wants you to use the Ninpo more often. And how do they do that? Well, let's just say that you are kind of abusing it for some reason. Well, they do have a lot of these chests here that just gives you red essences. So really, in this game, you don't need to be that you don't need to be that conservative with your Ninpo. Not only because, well, you don't really need to. You really need to need the Ninpo in any particular time. Every single combat encounter you can do without Ninpo anyway. So Ninpo is just comfort at that point, or I guess a last resort kind of thing. But okay, so okay, hold on. Let me just fix something here. Okay. Okay. But so we have 3 weapons right now. We started off with a dragon sword. We found the lunar staff in chapter 1, and we found Falcon's talons in chapter 2. Well, we're gonna get another weapon. This one is actually a familiar one, just like the lunar staff. There you go, the Vigorian flails. So, a vicious flail made during the Middle Ages in the Vigor Empire. So, they do give us some continuity that this is the same weapon from the same type of weapon from Ninja Gaiden 1. Details. An offshoot of the spiked weapons used in medieval Europe. This, which implies that Vigor is in Europe. That's interesting. I never figured that. Okay. This unorthodox flail was made in the Vigor Empire during the Middle Ages. It is believed that this weapon was originally designed with large spikes on each end, but was modified with blades at some point. Although swung very much like an Asian nunchaku, the 2 weapons are completely unrelated. Yeah, they just happen to be similar in how you wield them, I guess. The Vigorian flail saw very little use on battlefield. Yay, flails, indeed. Records suggest it was a favorite weapon in the Divine Vigor games. Savage gladiatorial contest popular among Imperial Vigorian royalty in the 13th and 14th centuries, in which it was undoubtedly responsible for the deaths of countless brave combatants. That's interesting. In terms of lore, that means that the Vigorian flail is actually older than the time of Neo, in fact. So, in theory, it should be possible for a Neo game to have the Vigorian flails. There has yet to be a Neo game with Vigorian flails, but yeah, technically it is lore accurate for that to be the case, turns out. Ryu Hayabusa first began using the Vigorian flail a year ago while on excursion to the Vigor Empire during the Dark Dragon Blade incident. When asked his opinion of the weapon, he stated, "Not bad. He seems rather fond of them." Okay, first of all, okay, so at least we have some confirmation that Ninja Gaiden 1 takes place 1 year before Ninja Gaiden 2, because now we know, okay, he began using Vigorian flail a year ago. The other thing is that, okay, so whoever wrote this profile thing is not Ryu, because this literally is good. Yeah, they literally said when asked his opinion on the weapon, he stated, "Not bad. He seems rather fond of them." So that's kind of interesting. Either that or Ryu is just choosing to write this in third person, which is kind of hilarious that he is such a dork, I guess. But who knows? Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna equip the Vigorian flails. So, okay, the door already opened. I don't want to actually go further yet, because I do want to show off the Vigorian flails here. So, first of all, the Vigorian flail... Yes, I'll choose to believe Ryu just writes like that. Yeah, sure. Alright, so, first of all, the Vigorian flails, it starts... Okay. First of all, the Vigorian Flails, they pretty much established at this point that almost every chapter gives you one new weapon. Now, that could be kind of overwhelming in terms of the amount of weapons that you get. I think how they fix that is that compared to Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1, they do homogenize the combo list a little bit. Like, for example, in Ninja Gaiden 1, the Dragon Sword's X combo, it's 3 hits. So yeah, 3 hits like that. And the Vigorian Flail, or the Nunchaku, would have had a 5-hit combo instead. Yeah, I just happen to know that these are the exact same combos that way. However, now, they have made it so that even the Dragon Sword has a 5-hit combo instead. There. So now, I guess, the combo list of the Dragon Sword is relatively similar to that of the Vigorian Flail. Like, there are some differences. Actually, the Vigorian Flail has a 6-hit combo, it turns out. But yeah, the thing is, there is some similarities. Another similarity is the fact that, well, something that the Dragon Sword had that was, I guess, kind of exclusive to the Dragon Sword compared to the Vigorian Flail is the XY combo in order to do the Izuna drop. The Vigorian Flail did not have an Izuna drop. Well, now, the Vigorian Flail... Yeah, the Vigorian Flail in Ninja Gaiden 1 did have this combo. Yeah. But it did not have the idea that you actually can change that into an Izuna drop. So yeah. At this point, XY, XXXY has kind of become a relative standard thing now. So if you've learned that from one weapon, you will probably learn that in all the other weapons as well. There's going to be some weapons that don't have that, but still, that's going to be the exception now, rather than the rule. So, yeah, like I said, they do homogenize the combo list a little bit. That said, the Vigorian Flail is still at level 1 right now. And it has, at the same time, has less things than Vigorian Flail at level 1 from Ninja Gaiden Sigma, but also has more things than Vigorian Flails, level 1 Vigorian Flails in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. One of the differences is that this combo here, XXY. There. In Ninja Gaiden Sigma, that last combo, or that last slash, you could have done that after almost every X attack. But do note that I will mash X right now. Yeah, and the Y that comes afterwards, that's just the normal Y attack. It is only pressing X 2 times that does this attack. Okay, so why did they remove that? Well, that is because they actually are going to make the Vigorian Flails more powerful than it was in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, but you need to level it up first. Because instead of you only having XXY, and that can just be done after every other X attack, now there's also a specific combo for XXXXXY. Like, it would be a different thing, but you get that after upgrading it. So, I will show more of that when we actually upgrade it. But yeah, do know that besides the addition of the Izuna drop, the Vigorian Flail actually, generally speaking, has a few less moves than how the Vigorian Flail starts off as in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. But we will fix that by upgrading it. Just gonna show off that Izuna drop is indeed an option with Vigorian Flail now. And just like I mentioned with the Dragon Sword, yeah, if you look at the controls, I will just mash X in the air multiple times, probably more than 3 times, and yet the Izuna drop still comes out the moment I press Y, the moment that the vertical slash in the air is done. Yeah, I definitely press X more than 3 times there, but still it comes out because I pressed Y during the vertical slash. Similar to Dragon Sword, it's only at the vertical slash that I actually press Y, and that ends up becoming the Izuna drop. There. So yeah, as much of the game has this hardcore factor to it, like, oh, it's such a difficult game, it's actually very generous in a lot of ways. So, yeah. Oh, question for chat. Is this the kind of game you would play? Yeah, I already established that in the previous entry, but unfortunately the game does not allow you to find the crystal skulls again after you've already found them. So yeah, I will still point out that there would have been a crystal skull here if you did not find it yet. Okay. The thing with the Forgotten Flail also is that it also still has essentially the flying swallow that it had in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. There. So whereas the Dragon Sword necessitated a level 2 upgrade in order to add a bounce to it, and after, yeah, through the bounce we can get an on-landing status from it. The Forgotten Flail does not have multiple flying swallows after one another, but that single flying swallow, which is still called Red Hot Brand, that was the name of it, right? Let's see. While wall running, Red Hot Iron Brand. Yeah, I guess they kept that consistent, that it's called Red Hot Iron Brand rather than Flying Swallow. But yeah, at least at the start, you don't get multiples of that. Yeah, you don't get multiples of that, but a single attack does do multiple hits. In terms of the I guess Flying Swallow alternatives in this game, the Falcon Talons is probably still the best out of all of them because you can just chain that into an Izuna drop. Still, the Forgotten Flails is still pretty cool that you can get multiple hits out of that just by hitting an opponent with it. I do like that they put the broken ladder there just to kind of emphasize to you that the flying bird flip is essentially the way to actually climb things instead of the ladder. It's almost like they're selling the idea of, ooh, the flying swallow, the flying bird flip. That's so much better than climbing a ladder. Come on. There's a funny thing about the ultimate technique there with the Forgotten Flail. So, okay, I think I'm gonna show the regular... No, okay. So I just did the regular ultimate technique, and that's already quite over top as it is. If you look at the... let's see. If you look at the combo list, though, during Golden Dragon, because yeah, Golden Dragon is just the regular ultimate technique. During Golden Dragon, press Y repeatedly. Interesting. So an additional command during ultimate technique. All right, let's see what happens if you do that then. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure that. Yep. You think the ultimate technique did not have enough hits? Well, just add more hits to it by mashing the Y button. Okay. These enemies, just use the bow and arrow on them. And because this game essentially has an auto-aim thing to it, you don't really need to aim. Just press the aim button and you will probably aim towards the closest enemy anyway. So, yeah. Okay, so where we're supposed to go is, using this pole to move to the other side. There is some additional things down here, though. Okay, so that chest, that only had essence in it. That's because, right now, my items are at max right now. Like, this is the maximum amount of herb spiritual life that you can get. This is the maximum amount of grains of spiritual life that you can get. This is the maximum amount of devil's away mushrooms that you can get. And also, same for Talisman Rebirth. You can't hold 3 of them anymore that you could in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Instead, you can only hold 1 Talisman Rebirth. Okay, that said, anytime if you open a chest that would give you that item, you will instead get the essence, the amount of essence that you would need to buy that same item from Muramasa in the first place. So yeah, if you actually want to save up on money, having a full inventory actually helps. Okay, I should still minimize the use of stuff like the Izuna drop, just in case if it still is a little bit too advanced for people. But okay, so I think another way that the Vigorian Flail is kinda, I guess, improved over in Ninja Gaiden Sigma is that Ninja Gaiden Sigma did not actually allow you to do a lot of cancels with the Vigorian Flails, as in things like the Shuriken cancel, like slashing and then using the Shuriken in order to stop or cancel the combo. I guess the reason for that is that the Vigorian Flail was already so fast that it didn't really need a cancel in the first place. Well, this game still decided, you know what, I'll allow you to cancel it anyway, so yeah. So yeah, it is an option now. But again, the Vigorian Flail is still so fast that yeah, this is me just rhythmically hitting the enemy with the Vigorian Flail, and that kind of works almost as if I didn't even cancel it in the first place. Like, it's a lot more effective with the Dragon Sword to cancel, because the Dragon Sword would normally not hit this quickly in the first place. Again, they keep showing the ladder not being at the ground level, I guess, just to I guess sell the idea of the flying bird flip. Oh yeah, for those in the know of the lore of Ninja Gaiden, hey look, it's Do Attack. Yeah, that's gonna be important for Dead or Alive and all that, but this takes place before Dead or Alive, so yeah, I guess this is before Do Attack decided to start tournaments and all that. There's also a little improvement, by the way, like in Ninja Gaiden 1, if you actually moved horizontally at the bars, you would have essentially had this animation the entire time. Just, yeah, which is a lot slower. Now, if you just hold a certain direction, eventually Ryu will just do this animation, which is a lot faster. So yeah, I do like it. Such an athlete, this Ryu, isn't he? Oh yeah, I think that's also, yeah, okay. So, back in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, if you actually did the counterattack with the Vigorian Flail, no matter whether you are pressing X or Y during the counterattack, you would end up doing this kick. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Alright. There we go. Yeah. It would have ended up being this kick. The kick would have launched the enemy in the air as well. This game now differentiates between Y and X, whether you do the counterattack. So, the kick is now the Y attack counter, whereas the X counter is this Bruce Lee type of one inch punch kind of thing. So, oh, yeah, that's... There. I just think it's it goes by so fast, but it's just so cool when he just hits it with a kind of like a whip kind of thing. Oh, okay, yeah, so anytime when I do notice someone releasing a red essence, I do kind of take that as a permission to just use an info, because it just regenerates one key anyway, so sure. Okay, this is something that was in the original Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden, but not even Ninja Gaiden Sigma. It's there. Like, there would have been a big screen. Was it? I think it was supposed to be this big screen or something. But yeah, there would have been a big screen, and you would have seen some kind of trailer for, you know, one of those skeletons that you see in the classroom or something. Yeah, there would have been a trailer for, I guess, a skeleton that just does stuff. I don't know how I should say it. He just parties or something in the classroom after school is done or something. Like, it's no longer there, but it's just kind of fascinating how that was a thing that they put it there in the first place. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a fictional thing that they just randomly came up with, but yeah, I kind of miss it, but all right. Okay, yeah, so this is hero difficulty. Bone Party, yes indeed. Okay, this is hero difficulty right now. If you actually play on hard difficulty, I think hard and up, I believe, some chests may end up having ghost fish instead. So, do keep in mind that if you do play on hard difficulty, yeah, do be ready to actually fight the moment you open up a chest. So, yeah, be careful about that. So, yeah, here you see Doa Tech yet again. Harm sent fell for the ghost fish. I think Sigma gave PTSD because of those fish. This makes sense, makes sense. Anyway, welcome, Kiyo Namazaki. Yeah, so, well, clearly you have played Ninja Gaiden Sigma before, but yeah, still, the sign at the top of this stream still stands. Got questions? Ask them in the chat. I'm here to help. I am mostly making these videos in order to help people get into this franchise, mostly because it has that intimidating aura to it. I'm trying to dispel that aura just a little bit, or at least the intimidating part of it, just to show that it's actually not that difficult, especially if you play on hero difficulty and all that. So, yeah. Okay, so, the thing with the combo list, that the X combo, now, yeah, in this game, the X combo probably has, like, a lot more hits by comparison. Like, just, yeah, Dragon Sword, Vigor and Flail, Falcon Talons, like, Lunar Staff is the lowest amount of X attacks right now, and that still is 4. Whereas with Ninja Gaiden Sigma, it would have been 3 X attacks instead. The reason for the amount of X attacks is because the game wants to have many chances to take a limb off an opponent. So, especially with Gregorian Flail here, it's mostly the later X attacks that have a bigger chance of taking off a limb. And when you take off a limb, well, that's when the obliteration technique comes out. Oh, I can definitely say on classic difficulties is 100% manageable. I'd say the only intimidating part was the last few chapters, but the autosave after entering a boss takes that feeling away. Yes, that, oh yeah, thank you for saying that, Kiyo Namazaki. Yeah, so, back in the original Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden, there would have been an autosave before before every boss, but not after every boss. in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, there was no autosave at all. Like, any save that you do, that's only just the save that you do on a statue. For every re-release, they essentially made it so that there is an autosave and all that. So don't worry, you'll probably have a chance to redo a boss battle the moment you reach the boss battle. Okay, I just showed the counterattack there. That counterattack launched the enemy a little bit, but that also stuns them, and thus you can just immediately do a combo afterwards. Okay, New York City Defense Agency. If I remember correctly, this was misspelled in the Xbox 360 version of Ninja Gaiden 2, so yeah. Actually, that's not the only thing that was misspelled. Doatek. It ended with a Q in the Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2. So yeah, funny how that's the thing that got misspelled somehow. Okay, so this is going to be our first document that adds some lore to the Greater Fiends in this game. The Four Greater Fiends, Part 1. Countless millennia ago, long before the existence of other powerful fiends, four great beings rose to power, known as the Kings and Queen of the Fiends. Together, they split the underworld into four sections, each ruling over their own domain. One, the ruler of flame, next, the ruler of storms, the third, the ruler of lightning, and the last, the ruler of blood. Well, from what we've seen of Alexei, clearly he's the one of lightning, but we'll just allow him to properly introduce himself once we meet him. Okay, I already pointed this out in a previous entry, but yeah, sometimes if you just see like a long hallway or something, you can almost assume that some kind of enemies will probably appear anyway. So, a trick you can always do is just charge up an ultimate technique before they actually arrive. So I got a question that was purely out of curiosity. If you beat a boss and you have waves of enemies afterwards, you die to those enemies, would you need to repeat bosses if you set back to the last use a dragon statue? If you go back to the last use dragon statue, yes, then you will have to redo everything. The game doesn't how you say, the game won't remember what boss you fought against, but there is going to be an autosave after beating the boss, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so for example, I think in chapter was it 5, 6? I think no 7. In chapter 7, yes, there would be a moment where we beat a boss and then we have to face some waves of enemies afterwards. So yeah, if you beat the boss and you die during the waves of enemies afterwards, you won't have to redo the boss. You will instead just have to redo that fight. However, if you return back to the last used dragon statue, then yes, you do have to redo the boss. So yeah, that's just how they set everything up like that. At least as far as I know. Maybe if I do remember this, I am willing to test that out. So who knows? Oh, I guess I forgot to actually charge there, but which does give me a chance to show how resilient Ryu has become in terms of charging up his ultimate technique, because I just allowed that dog to attack me a bit while I was charging, and I was still able to essentially charge to full there. You would not be able to do that in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. In Ninja Gaiden Sigma, a single attack would have ruined Ryu's focus there. Okay, so we've been equipped with the Art of Inferno this entire time. How about we switch over to a different Inferno for a bit? or a different ninpo. The Art of the Flame Phoenix. Summon birds of fire to defend you and set your foes ablaze. To equip this ninpo, press right to open the ninpo shortcut menu. The flames underneath the health gauge represent your ki. You use ki to cast ninpo, collect red essence to replenish your ki. There's also some more details if you want some lore about the ninpo. This ninpo summons the spirits of sacred phoenixes to fly about the caster, protecting them with holy flame. Phoenixes are associated with the element of fire and are well known for their ability to rise reborn from their own ashes. In Chinese mythology, the phoenix is one of the 4 creatures of good fortune and represents the concept of peace. I'll just finish this right now. With this ninpo equipped, the caster can find peace even in the midst of a fierce battle. Okay, just pointing out here, that's actually inaccurate. The vermilion bird technically is not the phoenix. It's actually a different bird, but I guess this game decides to conflate the mythological phoenix along with vermilion bird, but no, they're not actually supposed to be the same type of bird. If we're going in Pokemon terms, the phoenix would be Moltres. The vermilion bird would be Ho-Oh. So yeah, they are kind of different. But yeah, I guess in this, there are other stories that also conflate the phoenix and the vermilion bird. But yeah, technically that's not supposed to be that. Yeah, so when they say the Chinese mythology, the phoenix, one of the 4 creatures of good fortune, represents the concept of peace. That's the vermilion bird is one of the 4 creatures of good fortune and represents the concept of peace. But yeah, details. All right, so we'll equip the Art of Flame Phoenix here. Let this cutscene play, and then I'll just show how that the Art of Flame Phoenix works. So, I mean, it should already be changed. All right, so, this guy over here, this is called a Van Gelf. I guess this is Ninja Gaiden's version, or a version of a vampire in Ninja Gaiden franchise, I guess. You even notice he has, like, those little wings and all that, which is, yeah, pretty much gives you the implication that it will grow to have bigger wings eventually. Okay, so an annoying thing about these guys is the fact that a lot of their attacks, they are able to just kind of attack through your attack. So even though you are using a bunch of attacks on him, he just ignores the attack and just kind of goes through it. Just gonna... Okay, right now he is actually... Okay, that time he was just, he decided to be nice to me, I guess. Let's see if this guy does what I want him to do. There we go, yeah, there. So, yeah, I was attacking him, and yet he was able to just kind of ignore the attack for a bit and just attack through your attack, I guess. So, my recommendation on fighting against them is either the Dragon Sword or the Lunar Staff. A Dragon Sword because, well, do remember that we have that one combo, the XXY combo. That has a lot of chances to take away an arm. That's actually very effective against these guys. So, cut off an arm and then immediately you just use the obliteration technique afterwards. Oh, sheesh. In this case, that guy already lost a limb, so there we go. Just gonna try it out against... There. That already cut off a limb right there. I also did say let's actually test out the Art of the Flame Phoenix here. So, yeah. So it's only 2 Phoenixes right now. This is a defensive ninpo. This is mostly something you will use if you just need a little bit of breathing room for a little bit. Personally, I don't use this one a lot. But do keep in mind that if you need some additional defense, the Flame Phoenix is actually a good one. I do find that Ninja Gaiden 4 improves the Flame Phoenix by a lot, by comparison. But yeah, right now, the Flame Phoenix, it's only at level 1. That means that you only have 2 Phoenixes. For every level up, you add an additional Phoenix to it, which gives you a bit more defense and all that. There. I did the XXY combo again, and that just took away the limp. Also, yes, just as a reminder, we are playing on hero difficulty, so even if you reach critical health, well, right now Ryu is essentially invincible as long as that bar is going on. So yeah, again, hero difficulty is very generous, especially because well, I'm not even pressing anything and Ryu just dodges everything anyway. You just cannot die except if you purposely throw yourself into a bottomless pit right now. Anyway, like I said, XXY in order to take off a limb, usually. Or some of your previous attacks will already take off a limb anyway, so yeah. Okay, right there, that enemy gave me a blue essence that healed me over the threshold of the hero mode, and thus, that deactivates hero mode. But that means that if I do get damaged again, I'll just let myself get damaged now. There we go. We're back in hero mode. Okay, let's just finish this guy off. All right. The path leads on the ground. All right. What about obstacles giving damage? Would that be able to kill you in hero mode? It might be possible. Maybe. I will try it out if I do see some obstacles in the area. So might as well just test that out. We do love them sewer levels in games, right? Alright, yeah. Oh, hey, okay. So, I see red essence. Let's just immediately use it. Granted, I could have just used the red essence just to... yeah, okay, I'll just use the red essence right now just to regenerate some ki here. Will be good to test for Chapter 10 with the snow covering hidden dangers. That's a good one, yeah. I will try it out, sure. It will take a while till we get to Chapter 10 because I just... today I'm just gonna stick to Chapter 3 to 5. But yeah, I will try to remember testing that out. Jewel of the Demon Seal. Permanently increases the level of an info spell. To use this item, press start to open the pause menu, etc, etc. Alright. A violet jewel that can strengthen the level of any ninpo technique. The jewel resonates with the human consciousness, inspiring a greater degree of control over one's ki. The jewel is known to consist of dragon secretions, dragon drops. Yeah, they keep going with this theory that all these items are actually dragon drops that have stabilized in the crystal matrix of the Chalcedony as a piezoelectric substance. The Jewel of Demon Seal has long been sought after by those who wish to reach a higher spiritual plane, such as fortune tellers and practitioners of meditations. All right, so yeah, we now have 2 ninpo, and like I said, Art of the Flame Phoenix, for every level that you add to it, you gain an additional Phoenix to protect you. Art of Inferno right now only fires 1 fireball. For every level that you add an additional fireball. So what would my recommendation be? My personal recommendation is to upgrade the Art of the Inferno. I do think that the Art of the Inferno is probably more useful than the Art of the Flame Phoenix. So that's my personal recommendation. Usually, I would upgrade the Flame Phoenix last. However, if you do need more help with defense and all that, well, it is an option to upgrade the Art of Flame Phoenix, but still, personally, I would recommend the Art of the Inferno instead. So, I'll just follow along what I just said, so I'm gonna upgrade the Art of the Inferno. So now the Art of Inferno will fire 2 big fireballs. Also, I guess I should not actually have regenerated. Well, I could have, but okay. So, yes, like I said, they do have a lot of these chests that simply have red essences. So, again, you don't need to be too frugal with your ninpo. This game actually encourages you to keep using ninpo. Question for the chat. What is your opinion on this game so far? Alright, so if you just want to continue with the plot, you can just try to beat these enemies with bows and arrows. Or the Fiend's Bane bow. And just continue forward like this. That said, like I keep saying in the previous stream, this game kind of wants you to learn from your failures, I guess. So what if we just fall down here instead? Okay. So, turns out, there's a little tutorial area if you actually fall down here. The technique of unrivaled soaring. Multiple wall runs. Again, they give such dramatic names for all these techniques, but it's just multiple wall runs. Alright, while running on a wall, press A to jump. Then, hold the left stick to run along the next wall. No place is out of your reach. Yeah, so, just to show that off. Okay, so, here's a single wall run. Hold down the left stick and press A with the right timing for continuous wall running. Yeah, so, that's a single one. And now the camera even zooms out a bit just to point out, oh, look, that one line would be one wall run, so you can have an additional wall run afterwards. There you go. Alright. And then it just brings you right back over here. So yeah, again, learn from your failures, I guess. So sometimes I just most of the time I just purposely fall down there just to get all the scrolls and all that. Pretty sure you don't really get anything by getting all the scrolls. I just like grabbing all the scrolls. Anyway, this is the chapter that gave us the Vigorian Flails, so let's just still show off the Vigorian Flails just a little bit more. Again, I just like that counter. It just has such a Bruce Lee energy to it, the 1-inch punch kind of thing. Come on. Oh. Oh. He dodged the 1-inch punch. You can't do that. Okay, back in the Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2, there would have actually been two paths here. One path to actually give you a tutorial on an additional kind of wall run thing, and this other path that would lead to the main path. Well, they removed that, so now it's just this way. They do try to trick you there and just have those enemies ambush you, so do be careful about that. Yeah, so I recommended the Dragon Sword, mostly because the Dragon Sword has such a relatively short combo to cut off a limb, which is the XXY. That said, you can essentially do the same thing with the Vigorian Flails. Just one of those X attacks will probably cut off a limb somewhere. And if not, just try it again. Alright. Yeah. So, this isn't rocket science or anything, but just jump off of this in order to reach that chest. However, I do want to point out that every time that you do this animation where you, where he goes, I guess, monkey barring over this, do know that you keep switching orientation like this. So if you actually do want to face that way in order to jump that way, do make sure that the animation just stops at the right time like that. 5,000 gods. Permanently increase your maximum health. I think I already read this in the previous thing, so here you go. More full health. Actually, that does remind me. We have read the descriptions of all these weapons, the Lunar Staff, then the Falcon Talons, and the Vigorian Flail, we never actually read the one from the Dragon Sword, I believe, mostly because we already start with that. So let's just read some lore here. This legendary Japanese sword has been passed down through generations of the dragon lineage. Its amazing sharp blade, carved from the fang of an ancient dragon, has slain evil beings far too numerous to count. So long as the sword remains on this earth, it may only be wielded by a descendant of the dragon lineage. I think Landprow Kopaka pointed this out. That means that if this is in space, technically someone else would be able to wield the dragon sword. Interesting, isn't it? Anyway, Ryu Hayabusa now carries the sword, just as his father Joe Hayabusa did before him. During the Dark Dragon Blade incident 1 year ago, Ryu took up the dragon sword in his father's absence. Although Ryu defeated many powerful enemies and avenged his clan, his father Joe remained the true heir of the dragon sword. However, after witnessing Ryu's bravery, valor, and strength, Joe resolved to pass the legendary weapon to his son earlier than planned. Yes, so that is actually kind of interesting, that during Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ryu is not the owner of the dragon sword. It's actually still Joe's sword at the time. It's just that Joe just let Ryu look after the dragon sword while Joe was training in the sacred wilderness. But after Ninja Gaiden Sigma, that's kind of when Joe decided, you know what? I'm actually still supposed to be the owner of the dragon sword, but I'm just gonna give this to you earlier than expected. So yeah. A funny little lore thing there. Okay, so we just got the tutorial on how to do the continuous wall running thing. So here we do it again. Yeah, actually I already pointed it out in the previous stream, but I might as well just point it out again. Yeah, the Lunar Staff has something that kind of makes it a little bit easier to do the Zuna drop instead of the XY, XXXY, or just 2 X's actually in this one, to do the Zuna drop. Because the Lunar Staff, well, the aerial X also launches an enemy and is also tilted downwards. So if you don't want to remember all the XY combo, you can instead just jump and press XXY instead. There. Alright, so here's back to Muramasa. So, I did keep saying that the Vigorian Flail is eventually going to become better than it was in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Let's actually show that by having the Vigorian Flail go from level 1 to level 2. Yeah, also, the look of the Vigorian Flail of level 1 and level 2 are also consistent with that of Ninja Gaiden Sigma. But Ninja Gaiden Sigma did not have a level 3 Vigorian Flail. So yeah, that gives you something to kind of look forward to. Like, oh, okay, wait. We have yet to actually have a level 3 Vigorian Flail. How does that look? Okay. Alright, so what we got in addition is something that we already got in addition in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and that is the forward combo after 3 X's. So, yeah, so if you want to look cool and keep getting a lot of hits from a single enemy or even multiple enemies, there you go, you can do this combo. In addition, let's see. Yeah, so I did point out that in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, pressing Y after almost every X attack besides the single X attack, you will do this. Well, in this game, they gave the Vigorian Flail multiple different kinds of Y attacks after several X attacks. So yeah, it kind of functions the same way as this one, but now that one in particular has additional Y attacks afterwards, whereas the pressing Y after 3 X's has that instead. And after 4 X's, 1, 2, 3, 4. There. It's just additional flavors to the Figorian Flail and all that. So yeah, by this point, the Figorian Flail at level 2 is better than the Figorian Flail of level 2 of Ninja Gaiden Sigma. So that just means it can only go even further beyond at level 3. Alright, back in the Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden, this would be when there would be a ninja over there, and you would gain the Incendiary Shurikens. So, where are the Incendiary Shurikens in this game? Nowhere. There's no Incendiary Shurikens in this game. Instead, you're just gonna use the bow and arrow to blow these things up. You can probably not see it, but I'm actually crying. Anyway, I'm pretty sure there would have been a crystal skull here somewhere if you had not equipped or if you had not collected the crystal skull here. Okay, so yeah, by blowing that up, that creates a pathway over here, and there we go. Okay, so I don't think there's anything here. You're just meant to dive down in order to... oh. Yeah. And yeah, you don't have a breath meter in this game. Again, I guess Ryu just trained himself to keep his breath indefinitely now. Oh, whoops. Woo! Ah, dang. Yeah, actually, I don't think I emphasized that enough in the meantime, but if you do miss a line a little bit with the platforming, do know that throwing shurikens does give you a little bit of additional height, almost as if it's like a double jump. And same case with pressing Y in the air, which also adds some additional height. So if you need some extra height... Oh, yeah, I guess messed up a little bit there, but still, I made it. Yeah, let's see if I can just try it again. Yeah. So if you need some additional height during platforming, you can press B and then Y. It's especially useful with the Dragon Sword, because with other weapons, you don't get as high compared to the Dragon Sword. Quite a particular area here. I'm sure there won't be a fight here. Oh, what do you know? There's a fight here. Oh yeah, okay. So that is something that is also improved from the Figorian Flail. Back in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, the Y combo would have just been the kicks afterwards, like that. So, oh, yeah, that would have been the Y combo of Ninja Gaiden Sigma. This game added an additional combo afterwards, where Ryu will kick an enemy in the air, which you can then follow up with a Zuna drop, or if you just keep pressing Y, Ryu will actually do multiple red hot iron brands in the air, juggling an opponent in the air with it. So there. So compared to Ninja Gaiden Sigma, this game really gives you a lot more opportunity to just mash a single attack button, and you will get a lot of results from it. There. All I'm doing is just pressing Y right now. Like, I'm not even blocking right now. I'm just pressing Y to just get past all these attacks. So yeah. I think Starlight did ask me last time, is it better to start with Ninja Gaiden Sigma or to start with Ninja Gaiden 2? If you really do not care that much about the story, you can just start with Ninja Gaiden 2. Ninja Gaiden 2 actually has a lot of things that help you, that help you not think. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Like, with Ninja Gaiden 1, you still need to learn stuff like positioning and all that, but Ryu is just so powerful in Ninja Gaiden 2 that on hero difficulty, you don't need to be that careful anymore. Alright, technique of the invisible path. While running on a wall. Yeah, so run on a wall, then jump off and hold the left stick to continue running on the opposing wall. Use the environment to your advantage and reach new heights. Yeah, so instead of going along with the curve, in this case, you just kind of jump from wall to wall, which is very Sonic Heroes when you really think about it. Okay, the only thing that that Y combo might give you some trouble is that you don't really have as much control of where you will eventually land. So if you are on a platform like this, it might be possible that you end up falling down because of the attack. So let's see if this happens. No, I happen to still land on the platform, so that's okay, but yeah, you can kind of tell there is a danger to you falling down if you're just unlucky and all that. That said, when you really think about it, that's a risk you get with the Zoom drop as well anyway, so. Fact. There you go, yeah. So yeah, that is still a risk that you get whenever you do an aerial combo in the first place. No, whoops. Okay, you do have to align a little bit in order to properly wall run on this thing. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, we do have enough to upgrade the Falcon Talons. Okay, yeah, I already gave this advice in the previous stream, but my personal recommendation is to try to get all the weapons to level 2 first, and then afterwards get the weapons to level 3. However, if you, for example, if you do get to Vigorian Flails and you realize, like, actually, I kind of like this, and I might as well just main this, then go ahead. Keep upgrading the Vigorian Flail then. But personally, I do like to switch around on the weapons, just to show all the possibilities and all that. So yeah, personally, I do kind of focus on upgrading everything to level 2 first before I then upgrade everything to level 3. But yeah, okay. So Falcon's Talons is the only one that hasn't been upgraded to level 2 yet, so let's just do that. The reason I did not upgrade the Falcon's Talons that quickly in the first place is because Falcon's Talons at level 1 is already pretty useful because of the Flying Swallow to Izuna Drop combo. But might as well just point out, what does level 2 Falcon's Talons add? Well, we do notice an additional Y attack combo after 3 X's. So yeah, this is the X combo. So yeah. And now, after 3 X hits, press Y. Yeah, it's like a bunch of kick attacks and all that. I think, if I remember correctly, if you actually hold, yeah. So you have the Heavenly Wolf, which is the Y combo after 3 X attacks. However, if you hold the Y, on the first Y attack after the 3 X's, you will actually do a throw attack. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, he just launches his foot in that guy's face and then just rips it off. I am surprised sometimes if they actually do not lose their heads from that, but yeah, most of the times they do kind of lose their heads from it. So it's that kick over there. If you do want, if you're having trouble remembering to push this, push the Y after the third X, instead just try to remember what is the third X attack. So the first X attack is just, well, a single slash. The second X attack, yeah, the second X attack, it's the other hand. Then the third X attack, yeah, it ends with a stab. So if you know that the stab happens, just press Y after that stab. There. This is why I think by seeing the combos like this, you do get intimidated by the amount of combos. So personally, I instead just try to remember the animations instead. Okay, in addition, you also have XXYY. That's also an additional thing. Yeah, so I think Kotaro the Robin, while during Sonic Battle, he said that Shadow's kick looked like a donkey kick. This is also kind of a donkey kick. But yeah, if you just press Y after that, yeah, right now nothing happens. Yeah, right now nothing happens. What this does is that if you do hit the opponent with that donkey kick, I guess, Ryu will then teleport behind the opponent and then do an additional slash. So we'll try to do that against the next opponent. Oh, they coming. Okay, so XXYY. Yeah. So yeah, first the donkey kick hits, and then after the donkey kick, oh hey, oh yeah, might as well just show. Yeah, the Art Inferno now has 2 fireballs. But yeah, after the donkey kick, that's when Ryu will then teleport behind the opponent. Oh, that's the wrong one. In addition to the after images, it just makes the teleportations look so cool. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 3 will also give you kind of a manual teleport thing, and I think Ninja Gaiden 4 improves on that by comparison. Like in this game, the teleportations kind of happen based on specific moves, whereas Ninja Gaiden 3 gives you a little bit more control of when to actually teleport. I think we are about to face off against the boss of this chapter. So, let me introduce you to Death Megalo Flyer. Alright, so, I'm gonna be honest, back when I played the Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2, I knew him by a different name. I knew him as Giga Death. Yeah, both of them are over-the-top names, and it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, I think people called it Giga Death because there was a concept art of this boss, and yeah, Giga Death is just the file name, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the name is never outright said in the game itself. and now this game decided to add names to the health bars. So yeah, Death Megalo Flyer is now the official name of this thing. Alright, well, again, both of them are such over-the-top names, I don't really mind either way. But yeah, how do you defeat this thing? Bow and arrow. Just keep trying to hit it with bow and arrows, and don't get too close. Because, well, he will electrify you if you get too close. I might as well just kind of show it. Oh. Well, okay. That's just the projectiles, but... Do the electricity... Huh. I really thought he would electrify you a little bit more often. I get maybe that's the Xbox 360 version. But okay, still, bow and arrow is the way to go. And actually, there's a very weird thing about the bow and arrows in this game. If you want to fire rapidly, walk sideways while firing the bow and arrow. Yeah, for some reason, that makes you fire the bow and arrows faster. So just to compare, this is me just... Okay, this is just standing still. But if you want to fire quicker, move left while doing it. Yeah, you fire faster for some reason. I have no idea why that would be the case. But there you go. If you want to rapid fire with the bow and arrows, just keep moving to the side as you fire it. And if this enemy, if the Death Megalo Flyer falls down like that, that's when you do the obliteration technique. Oh, Ryu, you show off. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll just save over this. Alright, Chapter 4, A Captive Goddess. Alexei has transformed the Statue of Liberty into his own twisted base of operations. It is a source of the supernatural forces that twine through the city streets. As if laughing at his concept of liberty, peals of thunder roar, harbingers of the threat facing civilization. The statue must be reclaimed or humanity will suffer. After making his way to Liberty Island, Ryu's steely gaze now falls upon the greater fiend Alexei. Right?
Behold, the true world has begun to stir from its prolonged torpor. We have endured imprisonment, a long era of silence, trapped in eternal slumber.
Alexei.
Yet, even the deepest slumber can be disrupted by a single strike of lightning.
Alexei is such a dramatic guy, isn't he? Well, maybe that's just a prerequisite for being a greater fiend. Alright, so something I do want to point out with Alexei, he has kind of like a bird-like look to him. What with the... wait, I'm gonna go to bed. Have fun. Alright, yes. Then thank you for joining, Starlight. But yeah, yes, you look awesome as you disappear into the night by sheathing your sword. We're getting two PlayStation 2 Shinobi. Well, we're getting two Shinobi redeems out of this because of the sheath, your sword, and the gift subbing. So yeah, that's nice. Anyway, yeah. So Alexei has kind of like a bird-like look to him, what with the giant wings and all that. Do keep that in mind, because there's something interesting about that, especially once we reach the next boss, in fact, or the next greater fiend. These are humongous bats. Okay, let's see, how much money do I have? Not that much. Okay, I'll just continue on like this then. Yeah, because I did say there is essentially an additional weapon per chapter. That means that we are probably going to get another weapon in this chapter, don't we? Oh, question for a chat. What do you think about the gameplay elements of this game? Yeah, so again, if you actually do want to perform the Izuna drop, again, just look at the animation. Just look at Ryu doing the 3 slashes. The third slash is a vertical one. Yeah, just press Y during that. Even so, without the Izuna drop, you can still do things like the Y combo, for example. That's just pressing Y while on the air, or on the ground. Yeah. Again, this game gives you a lot of options compared to 1. There's also the Flying Swallow. Again, it gives you on-landing status afterwards. So, either you can use it to enter the running status, to do the running attacks, or you just charge up an ultimate technique after landing. And if you're having trouble because the enemy is guarding too often, well, you still have the guillotine throw, which is pressing X and A while close to an enemy. And, well, pressing X and A still does the wind run. That allows you to jump towards the closest enemy anyway. So, just do it twice while in range. There you go. Yeah. And sometimes, yeah, Ryu just throws them so hard it actually takes off their heads, which I guess that's a reason it's called the guillotine throw. Oh, hey, a new Ninpo. Alright. Art of the Wind Blades. These keen blades of air slice your enemies to pieces. To equip this Ninpo, press right to open the Ninpo shortcut menu. The flames underneath the health gauge represent your ki. You use ki to cast Ninpo. Collect red essence to replenish your ki. Alright. This Ninpo amplifies sharp waves of vacuum created by lightning-fast movements of the arms. The blades of vacuum radiate from the caster, slashing to pieces any organic matter in the vicinity. Clearly, this Ninpo is most useful when a caster is surrounded by enemies. Although not designed for pinpoint attacks, its lethality should not be underestimated. In the remote chance that a victim survives, undoubtedly they will have lost at least one of their extremities, leaving them with little remaining offensive capabilities. Yeah, so, right now, the Art of the Wind Blades... Yeah, right now the Art of the Wind Blades is something you aim. Like, just gonna show it when the next enemies appear. Yeah, you kind of aim it in a certain direction. And if it does not kill an enemy, it will instead just cut off a limb instead, which makes them easy to use the obliteration technique on. So, something to keep in mind though, with the Art of the Wind Blades. When you level it up to level 3, it will hit everything surrounding Ryu instead of something you aim, which makes it a lot more useful. So, my recommendation actually is that whenever you get the Jewel of the Demon's seal, you will upgrade the Wind Blades first, in fact, compared to everything else. I still upgraded the Inferno just to show it and all that, but still... I would say that upgrading the Art of the Wind Blades is probably the most useful thing you can do. And again, they still gave you a new Ninpo. That means that most likely they give you a chest to regenerate your ki. There you go. So yeah, every time you get a new Ninpo, just test it out immediately. Okay, Van Gals again. Just, sometimes they do get stuck there, it turns out. But yeah, XXY combo that usually takes off a limb. And then just either cancel it with a shuriken or just stop the combo there and then use the obliteration technique afterwards. There, that only got hit by the third, by the third attack, the Y attack, and that still just cuts off a limb right there. So yeah, that combo, the XXY combo, is still very effective against these guys. Sometimes they do kind of ignore it, but most of the time it will cut off a limb, but then this guy decides not to cooperate. There we go. Oh, yeah, there. This guy knows what it's about. All right. DOA 208, compose your style. All right. Oh, also a pizza. Monster Pie. Argus Pizza. All right. Right, if you are surrounded, well, the Wind Blades is indeed an option. That said, you can also just kind of jump off enemies' heads in order to try to give yourself some space. That might also be a good way to kind of get out of a crowd that way. And the Flying Swallow is still pretty useful as a way to get back into the crowd. And, well, if you do hit a crowd with it, a lot of times you will at the very least cut off a limb somewhere. So, yeah, keep that in mind as an option. And, yeah, at level 2, the Dragon Sword now gives you 2 Flying Swallows after one another. And, of course, the ultimate thingy is also an option all the time. I think out of all the weapons, I have not shown the lunar enough in this entry, so let's show that, yes, there was the Izuna drop that you can do just by pressing X 2 times and Y while in the air, because this hit still launches them like that. But you can still do the regular Izuna drop, which is X, Y, X, X, Y. Yeah, yet again, that was a... usually when it's a big yellow essence, like a single big yellow essence, that's probably something that replaced a healing item or something, because I have a full inventory of that. Okay, where we're supposed to be going is shooting an arrow to blow that up. But let's just grab all the collectibles here. Crime. Just crime. Alright. I wonder who decided to have this brilliant piece of graffiti there. Oh, crime. Alright. That would have been another item there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Do also remember that at level 2, the Lunar Staff also has a second... a second ultimate technique, which is done by the 360 motion and then holding Y. Let's see, where was it again? There we go. Yeah. So yeah, the normal ultimate technique would be Dance of Flames, or yeah, or Remnant Blossom, or Eight's Destruction, or Dance of Flames. But by doing the 360 motion with your left stick, you can do an additional one, and that's actually usually the more useful ultimate technique. Oh, yeah, okay. The arrows do stop the charging of the ultimate technique. Yeah, what makes that useful, that ultimate technique useful compared to the normal one, is that the normal one usually would necessitate that first dash attack to actually hit first before the auto combo actually works. Like here. Because that did not hit, it did not continue. Whereas with the 360 one, that will continue no matter what. So do keep that in mind, that this is actually more useful than the regular ultimate technique. Anyway, let's do this as I said we were gonna do. I was wondering where they were gonna appear. Like always, if I am doing something that I actually did not properly explain and all that, just ask it. I will try to clarify everything that I am doing that isn't clear enough. Okay, where we're supposed to be going would be up that ladder. However, we can go this way. There will be some additional fights. But the reason we want to go this way is because this would be where an additional, where a crystal skull would be. You would be able to see it from here. If you had not collected it yet, it would be over there. Well, how do you get there? Do remember that we had the whole tutorial on continuous wall runs? Well, there you go. That's how you would get up here to get the crystal skull. And that circles back to, well, the ladder I just pointed out. But even then, there's still this place over here. Another useful thing about the 360 Y attack is that you don't even need to fully charge it. Just the regular version of that still has a lot of chance to actually get rid of a limb, which means you can just do an obliteration technique afterwards. I guess I could have used an info there, I guess. Okay, do remember that, alright, there is a chest and a Muramasa statue on the other side here. Well, that's unfortunate, having a sword stuck in your back like that. Oh, but he has a Jewel of Demon Seal for us, so permanently increases the level of an info spell. Yeah, so, like I said, I would recommend using these to upgrade the Wind Blades first, because I think the Wind Blades is really at its most useful when it is at level 3. When the Art of Inferno is at level 3, well, you have 3 fireballs. Okay, that's nice, but the Wind Blades, I think the Wind Blades is made to be level 3 because it is the type of that is what it specializes in, just being the area of effect kind of thing. So yeah, my recommendation: try to level up the Wind Blades to level 3 above all the other Ninpos. Right now, it's still at level 2. That means that it's still something that you would kind of have to aim, rather than it just hitting everything. Still, might as well just show it. It definitely has larger wind blades now. Oh. The arrows are also an option in terms of trying to get rid of a limb. So if the enemies are far away, you can just charge up an ultimate technique, or you can instead just fire them with arrows in the meantime. And most likely, the moment that they do reach you, most likely they would have lost a limb, so you can just use the obliteration technique on them. Okay, so yeah, we're supposed to take this ladder over here, but do remember that I did point out there was a Muramasa statue behind some a fence. Well, here it is. This is how you get to that other side, by just jumping down. Light of the Gods, alright. So 4 more left in order to get a full max health upgrade. 15,000. Yeah, so that would not be enough to upgrade any of these weapons to level 3, but again, I would recommend holding off on level 3 level ups in the first place right now. Yeah, like I said, this 360 attack, even if you are not charging it fully, that's still enough to take a limb off of those Van Gelfs. So that makes it pretty useful against them. Actually, I think I forgot to actually point out that... Oh boy. Well, yeah, there's no falling damage, don't worry. But, okay, let's just get back up here. And just this ladder. Yeah. So we were supposed to take this. Oh, sheesh, really? Oh, I really thought I would have been able to land all the way up there. Or down there. Okay, guess I'll just climb down slowly. Okay, but there would have been a crystal skull here, so do keep that in mind. Granted, I don't think you would miss this. Like, you would just get here for the first time and then just jump over here, and yeah, there it is. So it's very unlikely that you would actually miss that. But still, just want to point out. XXY attack of the Lunar isn't as effective as that of the Dragon Sword, which is why I would recommend doing the 360 Y attack instead for the Lunar. Yeah, I keep calling it Lunar, but that's because that's how they call it in Ninja and Sigma. But yeah, the full name of it is Lunar Staff, I guess, just to emphasize it as a staff weapon. All right, I will switch over to Dragon Sword for the next boss that we're going to face. Alright, so I did not follow my own advice with Death Megaloflyer, where with whenever you do face off against a boss for the first time, just observe it and all that. Granted, the reason I did not do that for Death Megaloflyer is because Death Megaloflyer is just spam the bows and arrows and you would just get the best results anyway. But yeah, I will follow that advice yet again for this next boss. Yeah, whenever you face off against a boss for the first time, don't immediately try to attack it, try to study it first. There's an interesting interpretation of King Kong in this game. Right, so it is big, which usually means that it is slow too. Well, it is slow comparatively to Ryu, of course. But yeah, okay. So he does have projectile attacks, as in, yeah, kind of has a breath attack, I guess. So distance is not going to be like the biggest safe thing with him, because of his size, he will get up in your face pretty quickly, even though he is slow. There is a long wind-up between each attack, though. Well, relatively long. So, it does give you a chance to see the attacks coming. However, do note that most of his attacks are with his arms. He only uses the attacks with his legs if you are actually, yeah, at his legs. Yeah, which is like a stomp kind of thing. It has a shockwave to it. But do note that he will miss with most of his arm attacks when you are in this position. So, having pointed out all Godomus's moves, Godomus, I guess, Godomus's move, this is the best way to actually deal with him. Just get underneath his legs and just try to dodge that stomp attack. Once you stop that, once you dodge that stomp attack, well, usually it helps to just dodge into the attack, because that's just how Ninja Gaiden works with this invincibility frames. That's when you will use the XXY combo attack again. Yeah, that same combo that keeps taking off limbs that quickly. Well, it's still a very damaging attack in the first place. And in addition to that, this is level 2 Dragon Sword, which means that besides XXY, you can also add that additional forward Y afterwards, the Ikaruga. That does a lot of damage as well. So yeah, that's my recommendation, to use the Ikaruga after dodging the stomp. Oh. Oh. Yeah, do be careful about the breath weapon there. Yeah, just nibble at his ankles, I guess. And then he will be in this animation. That means you can use the obliteration technique. Oh no, a helicopter, we must destroy it. Oh, wait, no. It's Sonya. Okay.
How is it out there?
Fiends are everywhere.
The Statue of Liberty, that's the source of all this. There's a powerful fiend there.
Alright, thanks for the ride, Sonya. Okay, so this fight can be a little bit annoying because besides the Vangelfs, there's also those flying fiends as well. My recommendation, just act like those flying fiends are projectile enemies, because in a sense they are. They always want to keep their distance from you anyway. So yeah, focus on them first. Usually it takes like an arrow or two to kill them anyway, so... Oh. Of course, the auto-aim doesn't always aim towards the one that you really want. There we go. Yeah, you can shoot the arrows while in the air as well, so do use that. It will do less damage, but it might help more properly aiming at the right opponent that way. But yeah, after having beaten those flying enemies, then you can focus on the Vangelfs. Yeah, besides the Ikaruga combo, the XXY combo. The Flying Swallow is still pretty useful against them, because if the first slash did not decapitate them, maybe the second slash will. And if not, at least you are close enough to it so you can use the XXY combo yet again. Yeah, so again, sometimes you don't want to actually use the Flying Swallow as your killer move so much as the move that you use in order to get into range. Anyway, yeah, we are heading into the Statue of Liberty here. And apparently something is going on right now. The Great Ninja Exhibit now on display. All right. Oh, no, not on display. It's now on display. All right. I guess Ryu decides to translate this English for everybody. All right. One of the things that is in this museum piece is a safe statue. That's nice. And also, I think this is the Kitetsu of Doku. So that's funny. I don't think this is in the original Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden. I think nor in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. I think it is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black here that decided to add the Kitetsu here. So that's kind of cool. So I guess Ryu decides to donate it afterwards. They are teaching about the ways of ninja. Unfortunately, their information is all wrong. Oh, so judging, Ryu. This would have also been where you would get the dual katanas in Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2, but they decided to move that away to a different chapter. So we will get that eventually, but instead, they wanted to introduce us to a new weapon. But it is kind of familiar in a certain rest in peace healing Xbox. What Sento X6 is pointing out here is that this would have been where the prototype Xbox would have been, which would heal you. You know, the same thing that the Team Ninja logo did in at Ninja Gaiden Sigma. But no, instead you have the Enma's Fang, which is kind of like a new version of the Double Arrow of Ninja Gaiden Sigma. A massively heavy longsword that is capable of demolishing nearly any target. Alright. Anyway, welcome, Sento X6. A massive longsword capable of pulverizing nearly any target. Just want to point out here, that's not a longsword. That's a bastard sword. Like, if you count this as a longsword, no, no, this is a bastard sword. Anyway, the blade's unusual luster is reminiscent of the fine stoneware, but in reality, it is actually metal, expertly forged and worked. Metallurgical analysis reveals that the crystalline matrix of the blade actually becomes harder in the presence of blood. Shunned for this unsettling characteristic and its fearsome appearance, it slumbered for long years in the treasure vault of a certain royal family until it was discovered by a Japanese swordsmith who rechristened it Enma, after the ruler of the underworld. Some say the swordsmith was none other than Muramasa himself, although if he asked, he obliquely replied that his memory isn't quite what it used to be. Oh, Muramasa. Alright, so, yeah, let's test it out. So, I did say that this weapon is kind of like an upgraded Double Arrow. Well, yeah, if you just do the X combo, it's kind of similar to the Double Arrow's combo, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, even the Y combo is kind of similar to the original XX combo instead. Yeah. So I guess the new XX is kind of like a more simplified, quicker version of it. But the YY combo, that's more similar to the original XX combo. Muramasa, my memory isn't what it used to be, but maybe if you could get me a few more golden scarabs, yes indeed. Question for the chat, what do you think would improve this game? Alright, actually here's something that could have improved this game, the Test of Valor. Yeah, in the Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2, in Chapter 2 there would have been a moment where we would have gotten yeah, we would have gotten something that would unlock the Test of Valor, which is like little survival mode things that gives you a reward for pulling it off. That is why there's just this random little platform here. Yeah, this would have been a portal to the Test of Valor. But you will see more of these kinds of things in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. That there are platforms that look like they were supposed to have something there. Well, there's not anymore. They decided to remove the Test of Valor. So, yay for removed content. Okay, but let's see what this has to say. This section details the history of the statue. Probably the most unique trait of Enma's Fang is that it can launch large enemies like Van Gels and Lycus. Yes, indeed, I did want to point that out. Yeah, might as well just point out, yeah, that compared to the Dabilaro, this weapon actually has an XY combo to get you in the air, similar to the unlabored flawlessness of the Ninja Gaiden Sigma. So yeah, I will show off what Sento X6 pointed out soon, because we are going to face off against some Van Gels after we get outside of this building for a bit. But let's have some lore here. So, fun fact about this lore, this is what you would get in Ninja Gaiden Black while it is loading. Yeah, while it's loading, you would get this text, in fact. Well, not this text, like a shorter version of this text. They decide to embellish it a little bit with additional things. But yeah, this is, in fact, the mythology, the creation myth of Ninja Gaiden. The Book of Genesis. In the beginning, a great inconsistency flowed out into the nothing. A nothing that was afraid of its own nothingness. A pure terror without color, without sound, without smell. It formed the root of all deification, and eventually it coalesced into the shape of the first deity, Gurdu. Gurdu gave birth to all elements, providing them with order and function. In a remote area of space from where Gurdu provided order, there existed the territory of a chaos formed from elements without shape. This chaos, which had been forgotten during the blessings of Gurdu, existed at first as only an instinctual fear, but eventually the chaos began to take shape and a consciousness was formed within it. At first, this was just a small, envious presence, but eventually it grew and became clearer. This marked the appearance of the hatred. The chaotic nature of the hatred further evolved it, bringing it to the level of deity. Thus, the ancestor of all archfiends, Vigor, came into being, and the first conflict was set into motion. Yeah, Vigor is the demon of destruction. That is the statue that we are trying to get all this time throughout this game. The Book of Evil Deities. The ancestor of all archfiends, Vigor, began to devour the territory of Gurdu, the beginning at its center. During endless solar and lunar eclipses, the earth shook and split. The seas dried up only to flood into existence again. An intense wind swept over everything and fires burned down all of existence, ignoring even the concept of time itself. Eventually, Gurdu lost his strength, and the world once again plunged into the chaos from which it had come. Then, a great change occurred. During the throes of the unending destruction, the body of Gurdu himself split into fourths. Each part became a deity itself, controlling sentiment, wisdom, immorality, and creation. Eventually, they would come together to restore shape to the world again, but in their panic-stricken state, after birth, they still had little power. Yes, so sentiment, wisdom, immorality, and creation. That's the deities that we've been, the statues of the deities that we've been finding in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. We found the Raptor, deity of sentiment, Wolf, deity of wisdom, Devil, deity of immorality, and Serpent, deity of creation. So yeah, this is the origin of those deities, in fact. So yeah, they are, in fact, like the split versions of the original Gurdu. The Book of the Dragons. In this age of panic, the Serpent, deity of creation, was the only one of the deities who managed to keep some semblance of sanity. The Serpent gave birth to a tiny presence, something that no other being would even notice. The seeds of life. That's because it's the Serpent of creation. That makes sense. All right, these seeds managed to take hold and grow in the storm of chaos, and ever so slightly began to evolve, eventually becoming 13 dragons, whose destinies were to be found in battle. The dragons waged an endless battle against Vigor, who never ceased in his attempts to bring the world into a chaos of hatred. Eventually, the dragons were able to banish Vigor to the very ends of the worlds. Yeah, so I guess in a sense, serpent, deity of creation, is kind of like a great infinity grandmother of Ryabusa, because Ryabusa is a descendant of the divine dragons, of the one of the 13 divine dragons. We don't know which specific of the 13 divine dragons, but it is one of the 13 dragons. However, it was at this time that the youngest and lowest in position of dragons, the Dark Dragon, summoned the hatred with its feelings of inferiority. Due to this betrayal, Vigor was able to keep from being completely destroyed. So yeah, the Book of Fiends. Dark Dragon, now full of evil intent, joined with Vigor and his spawn of evil deities to further capture the territory of Gurdu. This conflict continued throughout the eons of history, and during its struggle, the first spark of human life appeared in the form of the ancient tribes. Of course, old conflicts never cease, and even in the age of the ancient tribes, the dragon lineage and archfiends continued their battle for tens of thousands of generations, a struggle that finally ended when the members of the dragon lineage were able to seal away the archfiends and their spawn. However, in that age of chaos, all the bloodlines of the ancient tribes were mixed, and the form and nature of the ancients has been carried on by us, the fiends. Yeah, so apparently this was written by the fiends, or the ancestors of the fiends, in fact. The Book of the Future. The land that the Archfiend Vigor once held as his final territory has become this, the Land of Vigor. The treachery of the Dark Dragon also occurred here, and this was the ancient tribe. Tribes lived. Okay, that is why their descendants, us the Fiends, have taken over control of these lands. With this land as a barrier, the power of Vigor is limited only to this earth. Vigor is the demon of destruction. Well, I already said that, but yeah. And the deity who creates history. When the decadence of this world has piled up, he will return in a blaze of all-destroying flame and recreate the world. That would be the events of Ninja Gaiden 1. The NES Ninja Gaiden 1, in fact. So yeah. Chaos, like the floods of the banks of a great river, will fulfill this world once again, and we will be the first recipients of this fulfillment. Evolution has and always will begin from here, the Land of Vigor. It has been several hundred years since the Supreme Fiend Gogon established what would eventually become the Vigor Empire here on these lands. Yeah, so that's where we were in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. If a new warrior of the Dragon lineage shall appear, the Holy Emperor shall be infused with the power of the Archfiends. After 7 days from the uniting of his Majesty with the Dark Dragon once again, we fiends will be blessed with an exquisite harmony. Yeah, so that's what they were trying to do in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Ryu stopped it. So anyway, just gonna show off that. Most veterans prefer the combat balance of the original release, although the removal of some things like jellyfish mines is a win to me. Personally, I think Ninja Gaiden 2's biggest weakness in general is that it's not good at teaching you how to play it properly. I feel most people never really learn the combat mechanics to a meaningful degree. Yes, indeed, that is actually what I try to fix, in a sense, by doing these Ninja Gaiden for Beginners things. I'm trying to kind of lower the intimidation factor of these games. Because I think that the problem with Ninja Gaiden is not so much that it's a pure issue of a player's level of skill, so much as the lack of knowledge of how they are supposed to play it. So yeah, that's the reason I am doing these videos. Alright. I do agree that the jellyfish mines, they did not add a lot, and removing them is a good thing. I still feel like there are some things from the original Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2 that they should not have removed, and would have been nice if they actually put them back in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, just to make Ninja Gaiden 2 Black an actual definitive edition. And I don't feel like Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is the most definitive edition. But still, I have pointed out in the previous stream already, I think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is probably the most accessible version to play for new players. So yeah, that is why I picked Ninja Gaiden 2 Black for this stream to begin with. Alright, so the Enma's Fang, the Izuna drop of this is similar to the Lunar, which is that it has 2 X attacks before the Y instead of 3 with the Dragon Sword or the Vigoran Flail or the Falcon Talons. So just gonna show this off. Oh, nope, come on. Yeah, it's 2 slashes. But just like the Lunar, the first aerial slash also kind of launches the opponent. So you can, in fact, just do a jump towards them and press XX Y. Although, no, 3 times X, in fact. That's a kind of an odd thing here, that if you want to do the aerial only one, you're gonna have to do 3 slashes instead. So 1, 2, 3, there we go. Oh, yeah, 1, 2, 3, there we go. So yeah, that's similar to the lunar, where you can also just kind of do that just by jumping towards an enemy and pressing X 2 times. There. Still, if you want the easiest Izuna drop, that's still the Falcon Talons, which is mostly because it does the actual Flying Swallow thing first, which has much more of a chance to actually hit an opponent. Still, it is something that is useful about the Enma's Fang. Just remember that you do need a 3rd slash for it, which kind of makes it a little bit different from the XY combo. Okay, but I have pointed out I do want to lessen the amount of Izuna drops, just so in case people are having trouble with the Izuna drop, that there are more options, like for example just the regular X combo. That's still pretty useful for the Enma's Fang in this game. I thought there was another enemy here somewhere. Oh, yes, there is. Let's show the actual counterattacks. I think the Y combo is actually an uppercut that allows you to chain it into a... Of course, he wants to do the arrow this entire time. Come on. There, yeah. The Y combo, the Y counter is the uppercut, which you can chain into an Izuna drop. The X one, well, he dies from it. All right, fine. I guess I'll just test it out on a different enemy. But yeah, Sento X6 did point out that the unique trait of the Enma's Fang is that it can launch bigger enemies, like the Van Gelfs. Let's show that off. Oh, come on. There. So yeah, it's a cool additional thing. That said, if you want to be efficient, I still recommend either the Dragon Sword or the Lunar, because there, the XXY combo is still very, yeah, very reliable in terms of getting rid of a limb. And if not the Dragon Sword, the Lunar's 360 move is still pretty useful in that regard as well. But yeah, it is a fun little thing with the Enma's Fang that you can launch a Van Gelf with it, which makes sense, it is such a big weapon. Just pointing out to Sento X6, my target audience with these streams usually are new players. So I do try to make things seem as accessible. Yeah, I do try to explain everything that normally would be second nature to a lot of veteran Ninja Gaiden players. Understood. I'll try and stay quiet. Well, you don't need to be quiet about it. Just know that that I don't. I kind of try to assume that the players have not actually played this yet, and I'm trying to kind of help them learn this game. Also, all this time I have not actually shown the ultimate technique of the Enma's Fang. Well, remember that the double arrow had like this thing where it shot like a bunch of shockwaves forward. Well, 3 shockwaves forward. Enma's Fang is actually more similar to that of the Warhammer instead, which would be like an area of effect thing. But just to have a little bit of range similar to the double arrow, you actually have an additional attack beforehand where you actually move forward for a bit. So yeah, it is kind of like a mixture of the double arrow and the Warhammer that way. So yeah, let's test that out. Oh, if they allow me to. Okay, maybe I'll just get myself a cover first to... Yeah. There we go. So yeah, it's he spins around for a little bit and then does the... He spins around for a bit and then does the big area of effect thing. And if you, even if it's just a single charge, it still gives you like a one circular slash with it before you actually do the area effect thing. Okay, you don't need to beat all these enemies, but I will still try to fight against all the enemies just to show that it is possible to get through all these fights in the first place. But yeah, you don't need to. Like, most of what you get out of this is just more money in order to properly upgrade all your weapons. But if you really want to continue, you could have just immediately entered the door over here. Oh, question for the chat. How are you with spoilers? Oh, hey, some max health upgrades with the Life That Was Gods here. Alright, so, where you are supposed to go right now... oh, okay, I guess I'll just face off against... Okay, where you are supposed to go right now is to take this elevator and use the flying bird flip to get up there. Why is that? Well, that's because if you go up here, eventually you'll notice that... well, the stairs are a little bit blocked here. That said, you do get a safe statue here, and there are some collectibles on these, I don't know how you call it, pillars? Not necessarily pillars, but support beams, I guess. One of them would be a crystal skull that would have been here. So do note that. And in addition, well, there is a different set here. Oh yeah, that's where the guy would have been. And oh, I thought it would have been a chest here. Maybe that's a different one. Teach people to not just rely on these Uno Drop as a positive too, especially if they want to branch out into the 360 release, where you can actually get punished for unrecovery. Yes, indeed. The Xbox 360 version is actually a lot more aggressive compared to either this version and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 version. So keep that in mind if you actually want to try that. But yeah, still, I did pick this version because it is the more accessible version. So still, if you do want to try the Xbox 360 version, by all means, I actually like a lot of things about that version. Okay, but yeah, this is, I guess, the other side of the blockage. Yeah, but there are more of these. I guess I should call them platforms. I don't know how I should call them, but yeah, this is what I had in mind. Yeah, there's a chest over here. Actually, I think I did not actually point this out. Yeah, the Enma's Fang, it has the XX combos, yes. But there's also forward X, which is like a stab thing. Oh no, it isn't a stab thing. Oh wait, the stab thing is... What was the stab thing again? Well, either way, right now, the forward X combo, that's... Oh, it's not a combo yet. It is simply a single slash. Once you upgrade it once, that will become an actual combo. So keep that in mind. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess I did not actually show the X counter, so let's show that. Oh. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah. So, this has a chance to actually hit their legs, but because these are the claw ninjas, they usually have a lot more health by comparison. Just want to show it actually cutting off a limb right now. Oh, sheesh. Oh, wow, that's a nice hit there. All right. Come on. rid of a limb there. Come on. Oh, sheesh. I said come on. There we go. Oh, really? Hits an arm instead. I really figured I would have hit a leg instead. Alright. Well, usually gets rid of a limb is kind of my point. Okay. This battle here is optional, but it is nice to get this Life of 1,000 gods, or not just Life of 1,000 gods, just a single Life of the gods here. But yeah, again, abuse the fact that this game gives you like this auto aim here, so just no need to actually aim manually. Just press the aim button and you will probably lock on to the closest enemy. Alright, so again, my recommendation is that unless you are maining a single weapon, try to get every weapon on level 2 first before you actually start upgrading anything to level 3. So, Enma's Fang, let's level up to level 2. Oh, get some more color to it. So, Enma's Fang at level 2. Yeah, like I said, oh, just a single X. Additional X. Oh, okay, still. So yeah, forward X now is 2 hits, which is kind of similar to the X's that you would get after the regular X combo. So if you want to get there faster, I guess that's what the forward X is. In addition, let's see. Yeah, I think this is the stab that I had in mind. Yeah. XX and then forward X. Yeah. So, fun fact, this is actually similar to the Dragon Swords stab combo. But then with a bigger sword, I guess. Oh, right, yeah, so we have a full inventory there. Yeah, if you have a full inventory and you find an opponent, find a ninja, a dead ninja here with a great spiritual life, take it as an opportunity to just take a full heal here and then grabbing the great spiritual life, because you're probably not going to return here anyway. So, yeah, just use it as a free heal. Alright, so, we can't take these stairs, however. Oh, well, yeah, it's blocked again. Well, fortunately, this is perfectly positioned for us to do a flying bird flip. However, funny thing is that this is kind of built to be symmetrical. So, there's no real use for it. Like, it's not like it's fast or anything, but you can also do it over here instead. Both get you to the exact same destination, but it is fun that they gave you that additional path here. Alright, here's part 2. Eventually, the tension between the 4 fiend rulers evolved into a fierce battle. The world was plunged into chaos, as though hell had erupted upon Earth. This infernal conflict drew the attention of one of the archfiends known as Vazda. Yeah, so Vazda would be like a spawn of Vigor. Or if we go with demon biology, with Dragon Ball, with Piccolo Daimo and Piccolo Jr., maybe Vazda is kind of like a reincarnation of Vigor. Who knows? Anyway, but yeah. One of the archfiends, known as Vazda, slowly he arose from his deep slumber to observe the commotion. Lord Vazda's gaze alighted upon a man, a lone human who plummeted into the deep abyss of the archfiend's stare. Alright then. So yeah, a lone human kind of got alighted, I guess, by Vazda? I wonder who that could be. Okay, but yeah, that's some additional lore there. We are going to face against the greater fiend Alexei himself, and my recommendation for most of, my general recommendation for the greater fiends, for me at least, would be to use the dragon sword. There might be some uses for the other weapons, but the dragon sword usually is the balanced choice in order to get the most reliable results.
I recognize that stink. The repugnant stench of the dragon lineage.
The final lament of an ancient creature. That's death you smell.
You humans have the lifespan of flies. I have experienced things your feeble minds could never comprehend. The music of the spheres, echoing through the cosmos. You may call me Alexei. One of the four greater beings, and master of lightning.
At least he properly introduced himself to us. But yeah, I did point out Alexei kind of has a bird-like visage to him. Just keep that in mind for when we reach chapter 6. I think, yeah, when we reach chapter 6, because there is some something notable about how these greater fiends actually look. However, yeah, we're gonna face it off against Alexei. So, as is my recommendation, the first time you do face off against a boss, try, instead of immediately attacking, try studying them first. So, Alexei is quite a fast one. He also has that attack. He is invincible during that attack. He also has this grab attack, which comes out very fast too. And he has these projectile attacks. So yeah, he has a lot of moves that he can kind of hit you from in a distance. But he also tries to get close to you a lot of times. But yeah, just even if you die from it, just take this as the opportunity to kind of learn what his moves are. And even so, you can do some fun things there, because you are invincible while using the Flying Swallow. So something I like to do is that whenever he does the tornado thing, I would just try to Flying Swallow through it, in fact, which I think it just looks cool. Not the most efficient way to actually get through it, but I just think it's cool when it does happen. So let's see if he actually does that. There, I just think it looks cool when you do that. Not really the most useful thing to do, but still, just wanted to point out there. All right, so yeah, after learning how the moves actually are, as is usually the case, the Ikaruga combo of Dragon Sword, that is usually your boss killer with level 2 Dragon Sword. So just now that you know what his moves actually are, try to find those moments where he is in recovery mode after those moves. Like that. There, usually when it comes to fighting bosses, well, hero mode is there, so yeah, I guess I'll just take a little break while I talk about this. Yeah, hero mode just makes you essentially invincible for a bit. But yeah, when you face a boss, try to focus on learning their patterns first before you actually try to attack them. And most of the times, these bosses do still work with the idea of a fighting game where they have recovery frames after their combos. So, okay, so that combo ends with that, and that combo ends with that. Okay, just know that you can do a combo afterwards and take your turn, you could say. Unfortunately, there is no obliteration technique against these greater fiends, which I do think is a shame, but yeah.
Such is the fragility of evil. Ryu Hayabusa, you will pay for your sin!
In Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, this would have been the moment where you actually fight against the Statue of Liberty itself, but Ninja Gaiden 2 Black tries to be a little bit closer to the original Xbox 360 Ninja Gaiden 2, so they removed that boss battle. Personally, I think that's for the better. I think the boss battles that Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 added, they did not really add much, I'm gonna be very honest. Positive change in Black, in my opinion, yeah, my opinion as well. Oh well. So, yeah, we are about to do the chapter 5, which is the last chapter we're gonna do in this stream. So next Monday we will go through let me see, if I remember correctly, it was another 3 chapters, which would be chapter 6, chapter 7, and chapter 8, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's gonna be for the next stream. But right now, this is going to be the last chapter for this stream, and we are going to play as a different character, in fact. So, chapter 5, the Shrine-Maiden's battle. Genshin descends upon Hayabusa village once again, his Black Spire clan crushing its brave young ninja. Faced with the devastation of her village, Momiji, the Dragon Shrine Maiden, resolves to free a young boy the enemy has taken prisoner. High above the unearthly glow of the Sky City, Tokyo, the Shrine Maiden confronts a horde of evil ninja alone. Yeah. So, we actually skipped a game here in terms of story, because Momiji is actually introduced in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, which is from on the Nintendo DS, in fact. That would have been the introduction of Momiji. This game, or at least Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, decided to bring Momiji into the story of this game. So, yeah. So I will talk more about how Momiji plays, but let's just go through the cutscene here. The Hayabusa village keeps getting destroyed, man. Feels bad. So this is Sanji. He's also from Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword.
Don't you think you're a little out of your league, boy? Even the mice are ninja here. No doubt the Dragon Ninja will take this bait.
Do note that Sanji is actually using 2 swords here. And that's in fact 2 different guards of 2 katanas there. So, for those who have watched Ninja Gaiden for Beginners 1, you might find that Momiji might look a little bit familiar. Well, that's because Momiji is in fact the sister of Kureha, Ryu's childhood friend.
Sanji.
Again, Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword goes deeper into this, but yeah, Momiji is the sister of Kureha. Anyway, we're back in Sky City, Tokyo. Now kind of going through it backwards with Momiji. Alright, so, I just said, try to remember that Sanji has 2 katanas. Well, the double sword guard charm, a keepsake of the village boy Sanji's father. Keepsakes from Sanji's father, a master of twin sword techniques. A first-rate ninja, he lost his life during the Dark Dragon Blade incident. The start of Ninja Gaiden 1. Sanji wants with all his heart to master the sword techniques of his father. He carries this charm and a pair of swords, which he isn't quite ready to use yet, wherever he goes. Yeah, so this is why Sanji was holding 2 swords, or he was equipped with 2 swords, because he's trying to kind of follow up from his father. that died at start of Ninja Gaiden 1. Alright, so let's go over the weapons of Momiji, because she doesn't have a dragon sword, even though she did use a katana in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword. But yeah, instead she uses the Heavenly Dragon Naginata, Momiji's favorite polearm, carved from a dragon tailbone. They're gonna use all the anatomies of dragons everywhere, aren't they, in order to make weapons. So, a roughly 2-meter polearm, traditionally used by women, many Naginata of a tomoe type, with a short grip for ease of use. But the Heavenly Dragon is a longer Shizuka type, allowing Momiji to utilize an integrated combination of centrifugal force and physical prowess to cut down broad swaths of opponents with every swing. The blade and the pole are said to have been carved from the tailbone of a dragon. It's not necessarily confirmed here whether it is just a regular dragon or a divine dragon, but still it is yet another body part of a dragon. The weapon boasts unparalleled strength and flexibility with a lightweight, allowing delicate cuts of the sort impossible with a normal Naginata. It is a sacred relic passed down from generation to generation of dragon Shrine-Maidens. I do like that they made it so that Momiji uses the Naginata, mostly because that differentiates her from Ryu, almost as if she just took the basics of Ryu's training. Yeah, because Ryu trained Momiji in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, but then decided to go her own direction, which there is a diary of Momiji that in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, which points out that she actually does want to go her own direction, and there you go, she actually is going her own direction by mastering the Naginata instead of the Dragon Sword, or mastering the Katana. So yeah, I just like that as a story thing. We'll go over the techniques later, but yeah, the Heaven Song Bow, a Japanese bow traditionally carried by Dragon Shrine-Maidens. Japanese bow used by Dragon Shrine-Maiden Momiji. From times of old, the Heaven Song Bow has played a central role in the Heaven Song Rite, in which Shrine Maidens pluck the bowstrings like an instrument to drive away evil spirits. The astounding power of arrows launched by its resilient woven leather bowstring is like a miracle unto itself, and the bow, carved from a sacred tree, is wrapped with a cloth given to Momiji by the children of the village in prayer for her safety. Yeah, a lot in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, Momiji really is like the big sister figure of a lot of the kids and that you will meet in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword. But funny thing about this, the Heaven Song Bow has played a central role in the Heaven Song Rite, in which Shrine Maidens pluck the bowstring like an instrument to drive away evil spirits. So, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, which introduced this in the first place, was made before Fatal Frame Maiden in Blackwater, which was the game that decided that Ayane ended up being a character in that game, which ties Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden to Fatal Frame. It's kind of funny how they wrote this before that game, and it almost feels like they were hinting at them tying the two universes together, because the Heaven Song Rite sounds like a ritual that would be in Fatal Frame. In fact, yeah, where Shrine Maidens pluck the bowstring like an instrument to drive away evil spirits. Granted, there's no real sacrifice as far as we can tell right now, but yeah, this would be something that would be fitting in Fatal Frame. So funny how things kind of tie up like that. Alright, the Art of the Crimson Lotus. This is kind of like Momiji's version of the Art of the Inferno, a ninpo spell that incinerates the enemy with a vortex of fire. An art that allows the user to generate and channel a whirlwind of fire at will. What did Will do to her? Why are we firing at Will? Anyway, gesturing the characters Rin, Byoto, Sha, Kai, Shin, Retsai, Zen in sequence activates the spell, transforming the leaves dancing within the magic circle into an inferno of fireballs that incinerate and consume all enemies in their path. The divine flames burn only the wicked, leaving those pure of heart unscathed. Very Masamune there. Alright, so in that case, let's just start off by using the Art of the Crimson Lotus here, just to show you how that works. Yeah, so those leaves, those burning leaves, they become projectiles that burn enemies. Okay, you might have also noticed I just did something of a double jump with Momiji, didn't I? Yeah, so the double jump is actually something that was in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword. Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword gave both Ryu and Momiji as playable characters, this double jump, that's because the Nintendo DS isn't as precise as, well, an Xbox 360 controller would be by comparison, because everything is touch controls and all that. So, in order to mitigate that, they gave you an additional jump in the air, so you can kind of reposition yourself a little bit. But, well, since Momiji came from Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword and was always introduced with double jump, they decided, you know what, we'll just actually give her the double jump as a special thing in this game. So, what is the use of double jump besides being able to reposition in the air? Well, do remember that you have several statuses in the game. You have being on the ground, you have while running, you have on landing, which allows you to do this the quick charge with the ultimate technique, and you have in the air. So the double jump, funnily enough, functions like an on landing status in the air, which means that if you do a double jump and then press Y, oh, it's a quick charge in the air. Interesting, isn't that? Well, in that case, what if there was essence around while we are in the air? Well, let's try that out. Let's create some essence here first. Okay, so double jump and then Y. Yes, so Momiji can actually do an ultimate technique from the air now. That is pretty useful, isn't it? Okay, so having shown this special little thing with the double jump here, let's actually go through her combo list. Because, the Heavenly Dragon Naginata, you can almost see it as her version of the Lunar Staff. It is very similar in that regard. Especially the Izuna drop, or at least, she calls it the Izuna Falcon, is, works similar to the Lunar Staff, where it's 2 X's in the air instead of 3. And, well, it is a pole arm, which is similar to a staff. So, yeah, you can kind of imagine it's similar to the Lunar Staff in a lot of ways. That's also how you can look at the combo list, which is less than a Dragon Sword, but still a lot compared to other weapons. Okay, so, again, you can use double jump in order to charge the ultimate technique, but let's show her version of the Izuna drop. Yeah, that's the Izuna Falcon. So yeah, just 2 slashes. Similar to the Lunar Staff, although a little bit less accurate than the Lunar Staff, but you can just jump towards an enemy and just, yeah, kind of do that, just like the Lunar Staff. So just, granted, I guess it's more similar to the Enma's Fang, in fact, because you actually need 3 X attacks in the air in order to do the Izuna Falcon that way. Yeah. You also have the normal Y attack, which is well, I say a 4-hit combo, but it's actually 3 hits if I remember correct. 3 Y attacks. Let's see. Yeah, Dancing Maple. It's 3 Y attacks. But actually, I think it's actually more useful in terms of Y attacks to do forward Y instead. Skylark Ebb. This one. Like, this looks like a very simple attack, just slashing forward. But it has a very high rate of actually cutting off a limb. And in fact, you are essentially going to use forward Y to face off against the bosses that Momiji is gonna fight. keep in mind that Momiji is a little bit slower with the Naginata than Ryu usually is with the Lunar Staff. Because with the Lunar Staff, Ryu likes to spin around the Lunar Staff a lot. That's something that Momiji doesn't do as much by comparison. So that makes it so that she doesn't hit as often by comparison. Anyway, time to face off against our surprise boss here suddenly. Okay, like always, first time facing off against a boss, try to study the boss first. So, okay, that's a 3-hit combo. That's a 3-hit combo. Oh. That's kind of his version of the Art of the Wind Blades. Okay, and he also has those stomp attacks. There's a timing to it, but manageable enough in order to dodge it. Okay, he also does that grab thing. That grab would essentially be his version of the Izuna drop. Anyway, after learning those moves for a bit, yeah, I did say that forward Y would be your boss killer against this guy. Well, just try to remember that most of his combos are 3-hit combos. So after the 3rd hit, try to attack. Alright, so after the stomp, you can also try to attack. So. So yeah, it's mostly just once you know how his combos work, that's when you decide to actually attack. Yeah, right now he's just gonna retreat and we will face him again later. Oh yeah, Momiji's items are separate from that of Ryu's, so that means that for Ryu, I already had a full inventory of Herb Spiritual Life and Grain Spiritual Life. Momiji has her own inventory. That means that we don't have a full inventory. So keep that in mind. Yeah, as Ryu, there would have been a ladder here that we would have climbed up and would have ended up here and would have went that way. But again, for Momiji, she's gonna go in a different direction. Mostly the backwards direction, in fact. But as Ryu, this would not have been opened up. So let's see where this leads. Okay. So remember that forward Y has a big chance of getting rid of a limb? There you go. Oh. So yeah, the Y combo is relatively useful. That said, I do think that the forward Y attack is still usually the best option because of the balance of both strength, ability to cut off limbs, as well as damage. Alright, so, once we go out of this pipe, this might be a little bit familiar. Hey, look. Yeah, this is where Ryu would have ended up after using the Flying Bird Flip, and this would have been where the Life of the Gods would have been. So yeah, funny to see how the things kind of connect this way. Okay, I should not use the Izuna drop too much, but alright, so her regular combos, like just the X combos, still has relatively good chance to take a limb off, so just use that as an opportunity to use the obliteration technique. Alright, so we are supposed to go that way. Yeah, because we never opened that door as Ryu. That's something exclusive for Momiji. However, we can always just kind of check the additional things here. Okay, so there's nothing over here. I think there's something up here, though. Yeah, for Ryu, his wall run would not be enough to actually reach up there. However, I think it is possible. Okay. I guess we have to get to a little bit of a lower thing here. I really thought the double jump would have actually made it up here. I guess it kind of does there. All right. Yeah. I thought the double jump would have been a little bit higher. Oh well. Also, yeah, compared to Rachel in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1, Momiji actually has a proper wall run and wall jump and all that. Which I guess makes sense. She is trained by Ryu in the first place. Still, don't discredit Rachel just yet, because turns out Rachel has been practicing some new tricks in the meantime. But we'll get to that in the next stream. Yeah, also, if you are surrounded by enemies, 360 Y attack is not as powerful as the Lunar's 360 Y attack, but do keep that in mind that it is still a useful attack for when you're surrounded. Also, just because you can charge the ultimate technique in the air, it's still a possibility to just do it on the ground as well, of course. Alright, so here's the thing. You will get more of these chapters where we will play as a different character other than Ryu. The thing is, most of the time, in fact, I think that's all the time in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, it's just that one chapter for that one character. So, in Momiji's case, this shop of Muramasa is the only shop you will ever get as Momiji. That means that most of the prices of Muramasa's is actually a lot cheaper than with Ryu. Because with Ryu, you would have multiple chapters in order to save up money and all that. That's less the case with Momiji. So yeah, if you happen to have enough money to buy a Talisman of Rebirth, I would recommend buying that. If not, well, just use up all your money to buy anything else, really. Because, again, you're never going to use Momiji again after this, except for mission modes. So yeah, keep that in mind. Just, if you have a shop of Muramasa with any of the other characters, just buy whatever you can. Yeah, so the aerial ultimate technique, I already explained that, but still a good reminder there. I still automatically use the Izuna drop things, so excuse me about that. Still, it does go to show that is actually a goal to strive towards, which is to make the Izuna drop a relative second nature thing. Like all these other moves, they are still useful in their own right, but still, make sure that, especially for all the, if you plan on playing multiple Ninja Gaiden games, get used to using the Izuna drop. I'm not saying the Izuna drop is always the best option. Sometimes other attacks are a better option than the Izuna drop. Still, it is always good to at least get like a second nature feeling with the Izuna drop in this game, as well as all the other Ninja Gaiden games. I think the only Ninja Gaiden games that would kind of discourage you from these Izuna drops would actually be Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, because there's a lot of enemies that just prevent you from launching them in the air in the first place. But besides that, well, yeah, Izuna drop usually is a safe bet most of the time. Anyway, consider this a theme for each of these additional characters. They usually take an existing chapter of Ryu, but then just add an additional path to it exclusive to the character. So yeah, the whole bridge thing and all that is from chapter 1 of Ryu Hayabusa. But this whole thing, that's new and exclusive to Momiji. Also, something to keep in mind with the double jumps, yeah, you can redirect your jumps that way, because in Ninja Gaiden, if you jump a certain direction, you will simply jump in that direction in particular. There's no way to actually reposition yourself in the air or something, like in a platformer game. But that makes the double jump pretty useful, because that way you can actually switch your direction. So I'm gonna jump to the right, and I will reposition to jump to the double jump to the left. There. That is something that's relatively unique to Momiji until Ninja Gaiden 4. Ninja Gaiden 4 makes it so you can actually dash in the air, which means you can kind of redirect your jumping that way. But that is for Ninja Gaiden 4. In Ninja Gaiden 2, it's a special thing of Momiji in particular that you can kind of redirect your jump by using the double jump. So yeah, keep that in mind. Also, Momiji also has her version of the guillotine throw. It's not as strong as Ryu's guillotine throw, but if an enemy is being annoying and keeps blocking your attacks, keep that in mind that it is an option. At least against normal enemies. You can't use the guillotine throw against big enemies like the Evangels. I call it the guillotine throw. I think it's a different name for Momiji. Fern Hunter. Alright, well, yeah, while jumping near an enemy, A and X. So yeah, Fern Hunter is her version of the guillotine throw. There we go. Again, forward Y is a very useful attack of Momiji. It's especially going to be useful in the upcoming boss battle, in fact.
I expected the Dragon Ninja, but we've caught a Shrine-Maiden instead.
Give Sanji back to me.
You are a fool to have come alone. Your recklessness will cost you.
Careful! Don't underestimate her!
This may not be the prey we intended to catch. But I'm always game for a good fight.
Yeah, so we fought against one Tengu. How about a second Tengu? So, the thing is, the game is relatively generous to you when it comes to fighting against two of these guys. dang. Because as long as you face the camera towards only one of them, that will make the other one a lot less aggressive. So, oh well, there's the Izuna drop thing that I talked about last time. But yeah. So, my advice is to kinda keep the camera facing only one of those Tengus. That way the other Tengu will not be as aggressive, and thus he will use those incendiary shurikens a lot less often. So you can kind of focus on one Tengu in a similar way as the first time we faced the blue Tengu. So yeah, it seems intimidating at first that, oh no, we're gonna have to face two bosses. In essence, if you just do it like this, you will essentially fight one at a time anyway. And if one of them is defeated, they will leave behind an essence, which you can use to either charge up an ultimate technique or to use it to heal. And if you are having trouble with them, there's no shame in just using the Ninpo. You do get invincibility frames from the Ninpo, so that is also a use for it. Like, instead of using it as an offensive attack, you can also kind of use it as a way to dodge attacks, I guess, by just having the invincibility frames. By the way, other attacks are still an option, of course. Like, I am using the forward Y attack because it is probably the most efficient way to face off against them, but it's not like you can't use the other attacks. So yeah, keep that in mind. Also, yeah, if he's blocking too much, well, again, the Ninpo is still an option. In fact, there you go. If one didn't kill him, the other one will, so. And yeah, we are reaching the end of today's stream.
Sanji. Sanji.
Momiji? Is that you?
Sanji. Oh, you're all right.
Momiji. The village. I couldn't...
It's okay. Everyone is worried about you. Let's go home. Until the day you become a true ninja, I will always watch over you. Promise.
Ooh, I wonder who this mysterious figure is. Oh, hi, Muramasa. Anyway. They should have repositioned the camera a little bit so you wouldn't see too much of the side of his face there, but oh well. So, yeah. Next Monday, we will start with Chapter 6. But, yeah, that is it for today. If there are still any questions, I am still here to answer them. But, yeah, thanks again, Landproud Kopaka, for those gift subs. That was really generous of you. But, yeah, in the meantime, I will check who I can raid right now. Let's see. Alright, well, people do love to talk about how difficult Ninja Gaiden is, even though I'm trying to disprove how difficult it really is. But, well, a similar case, people do people do tend to get very intimidated about Dark Souls. Well, Lupin over here is playing Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, so let's rate him. Alright, so, with that in mind, I think I will just end the stream as I usually do. So, remember, if you strive to be better than your enemies, be better for your friends, and be better than yourself. Take care, and see ya.